Alright, after a lengthy vacation, if you want to call it that, we're back. And as promised, hey, look who it is! Mac. Yeah, buddy, what's he got to tell me? He's grateful for my help. Unfortunately, I have already done his particular quest, so you don't get to see his special dialogue. Anyways, that's one of them. Let's go check the other before we head over to the Pillars of Flames. But we will be talking about these two. Make no mistake. And in case you're wondering, the upgrade to Windows 10 is complete, but it was, as they say, a bitch. I'm going to say this about Windows 10. It is an asshole. Alright, Windows 10 is an asshole. As for its speed, so far the only thing it has done faster than 7 is piss me off. Hey, there's Baraka. How's it going, Baraka?
Hello.
All choices have consequences. It is in how we deal with the consequence that our worth is measured. Yeah. Hey, look, she's got the empowered Ghoulbane. Awesome. Anyways, those two are important. As I mentioned before, they're the Ladyhawk of Norath. Let's see. How should I explain that? Oh, there's a Shire sitting up there watching over. They are from the noble houses of dragons, as the lore went, and when the cataclysm struck, they were thrown out of the plane of sky somehow. The how was never really made clear. They were just thrown out and in fear for their lives for some reason. So they were trying to figure out how they were going to survive down here, because they were pretty sure that humans and elves and whatnot would attack them on sight because they're dragons, and blah 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 blah. And they found the Djinn master. Well, not the Djinn master, because well, you'll find out. Anyways, they found the Djinn master, and he was all like, "Oh well, I can do this." But Baraka did not trust him, and he said, "No thanks, we'll find our own way." Unfortunately, Mac was a dumbass and believed him. So while she slept, he crept in there and stole a single scale, and then plucked one of his scales as well and gave him to the Djinn master. Wait, I want to use that carpet. The Djinn master then put an illusion on them of the form of a lesser beings, i.e., humans and elves. Well, as you saw, a high elf and a dark elf. However, he also used it to gain control over them. Unfortunately, he paused to gloat, or maybe I should say fortunately, he paused to gloat, and doing so gave Baraka the chance to kill him. So yeah, that's what happened to that Djinn master. He pissed off a dragon of the sun. Mac, by the way, is a dragon of the moon. He's the silver dragon. She's the golden. They took refuge in the city of Majdoul, but they are not all rainbows and butterflies. They do occasionally attack caravans and whatnot. They never really explain why. It's like after having such a horrible traumatic event happen, and they're hiding in there and they're doing their best to make a new life for themselves, they just randomly go down and attack travelers in the Pillars of Flame, which is where we are. We took the Camp de Sass entrance, and this is the Swift Riders Caravan. It's the little nomad camp. Well, yeah, it's the Swift Riders Caravan camp. Not much to say about it. There is, however, a carpet over here. Well, let's look at the map. Zoom it out. Pillars of Flame. Woo! Here's Majdoul, and here's Sinking Sands on the right side here. Anyways, yeah, there was a little curse put on as well. A final little trick. This is where the Ladyhawk part comes in. Baraka is, and this is also where game mechanics completely and utterly fail. We should not be able to ever see them in Majdoul at the same time. The way it's set up is he can only take his dragon, well, he reverts to dragon form at night when the moon's out, and she's in dragon form at day when the sun's out. And obviously, when the sun goes down, she turns back into a high elf, and when the sun comes up, he turns into a dark elf. So what the hell are they both doing in the city at the same time in their lesser forms? Maybe that's why they're so cranky. Honestly, I think the lore itself is kind of nice, but also kind of weak. Honestly, I mean, it's like obviously they were just copying Ladyhawk, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's a nod to Ladyhawk. Okay, that's fine. But put a little more effort into it, please. I mean, why are they so friendly in the city and so hostile out here? Because yes, they will attack you on sight out here. They do sometimes spawn up here. Not up here, but... Well, actually, CMAC sometimes can be seen flying around the city. Let's go take a look. I don't see him. Usually you can see him at a very far distance, but yeah. CMAC, are you up, buddy? They are raid mobs. There are 3 versions of them, I think. Is it 3? Maybe it's 4. At least 3 versions of them. There's a quest involved with them. And naturally, it also involves the Shimmering Citadel up there. That's the Djinn Palace. They're also taking refuge in here because of Muzdif. Remember Muzdif? I mentioned Muzdif. Yeah, the Djinn Master won't directly mess with Muzdif. And neither will he directly mess with me because, oh yeah, that's right, I ripped his head off and mounted it on my wall. Yeah, screw you, Djinn Master. He's a punk. He's a punk. That's all I'm saying about the Djinn Master. Let's do a little more lore about that, actually. Yeah, the Cataclysm did stuff. As I said, they never really were clear about what exactly pushed the dragons down here. They just kind of got pushed down here. I don't know, maybe a hole opened up and they just fell through. And being dragons, they're unable to fly back up or something. I don't judge me. Anyways, the point is, things got shifted around, and the former Djinn Master took his palace here because so much opportunity for mischief. Because the Djinn are assholes. That's just goes without saying. That's not an opinion. That's just a fact. Also, I don't see CMAC, so usually he's right around where my mouse is hovering, above Tal's head there. But we're gonna go check, see if they're up. They're very rarely up in the Pillars of Flame, but sometimes they are. And when they are, I like to wave and say hi because, unlike them, I'm friendly, sort of. I mean, I'll kill them for AA, but it's also an achievement for killing them. Okay, maybe I'm not so friendly. Anyways, the point being, we're going to go say hi. The Pillars of Flame is like this. Basically, it's sinking sands, only kind of reverse. Sinking sands, mostly sand with a little bit of rock. This one's mostly rock with a little bit of sand. And it has a more reddish hue, Pillars of Flame, which, you know, these are the Pillars of Flame. But it could also refer to the flame whirlwind monsters over in that direction. Here you'll see some saber-tooths and gazelles and stuff. If you go further up to here, there's some monks. There's 2 factions of them. These are the, I don't know if any of you have ever played, what was it called by BioWare, Jade Empire. There were 2 paths that you could follow as the ninja badass monk person. One was the way of the closed fist, and the other was the way of the open palm. The open palm is kind of like you're extending a hand in friendship, whereas the closed fist, you're beating the shit out of someone because they gave you lip. Yeah, it's also light side, dark side. They tried to say that it wasn't anything like light side and dark side, but actually it was exactly like light side, dark side. The strong take what they want, and the strong stand for the weak. Those are the 2 factions, by the way, not one faction. I didn't say that very clearly. But that's what these monks are like. The larger faction of them are the open hand, the open palm, if you will. The smaller faction on that little northern island up there, they're the closed fist. This is a harsh land, and thus they need to be harsh to survive. Whereas the other one is more like, this is a harsh land, and thus we should extend a hand to others because we know what hardship is like. Hey, look, desert raptors again. And here's those flame guys I was talking about. This is called the Giants Field because, as you will soon notice, we're going to find some giants over here somewhere. Where am I at? Oops, I'm going down. I want to go back this way. Here we go. Giants are up in this direction. See? Lo and behold. You guys didn't believe me, but there they are. Teach you to doubt me. Somewhere around here is the Cazel's Mesa. And I think also... Where is it? Oh, it's down here. Okay, so it's back. Whoa, hey, mouse. Yeah, see that mouse problem that I have? It hasn't gotten better. In fact, Windows 10 made it 3, 4, 5, 10, 100,000 times worse. But yeah, down over in that area, there is a little instance zone. It's not very big. It's just, well, it's not very big. It's small. Oh, see that little rocky spire right there? There are some Djinn that roam, well, there's a couple roamers down there, and then they're set at static locations along it with a boss up top. Well, not really a boss, but a named up top. It's a good place to farm for the Djinn language. I think they're are they glass globes, I think they are. Globes of glass filled with air, something like that. Yeah. There's also a quest in Majdoul that will take you there. You have to kill the named dude. I cannot remember why. It's been so long. This little island is where we're actually headed because, well, let's see. I don't see Baraka, and I don't see Siamak. So, big surprise, they're not here. But this is where you'll find them in their dragon forms. I believe Baraka is the one who stands... Yeah, Baraka stands here, and Siamak stands over here. If you can hear it, you know, if you can hear it over me talking, you can hear the little scary music. They're not friendly dragons. I don't know why. There is a quest for them as well. Actually, they both give you quests when they're in Majdoul. And they give you... Well, I don't remember what Baraka gives you, but Siamak, he gives you a choice of a skill book for an adept level skill, and you get to pick. It's not based on your class, or at least it wasn't years ago when I did it, but there's another quest. It's a drop that you'll find up in there. You'll find one of their scales. What you do is you go back, well, you examine the scale, and then you go back to Majdoul and you talk to them and tell them, hey, I found this scale, and they instantly turn into dragon form and attack you. But they apologize first. It's almost as if they're like compelled to attack you for holding their scale or something like that, which could very well be, since the Djinn Master's an asshole. Because remember, he wanted a scale of each of them. That's why he wanted to control them. The current Djinn Master sends you to get them back because they were very discourteous and ungrateful for the hospitality they were shown. Blah blah blah, i.e. he lies to you and tells you a story making himself look good. Yeah, you do that, and they show up there as a raid encounter that you can engage. And that is, again, a achievement. From what I can tell, or not from what I can tell, but from what I can remember, the reason you have to fight them after giving them their scale is to somehow break them free of the enchantment. So yeah, there's that. But again, the scale is a drop, so you might be looking for it for a while. Harpies. There are a lot of harpies up in this section up here. This is Harpy Town. All right, it's kind of like Funky Town, only it's Harpy Town. Oh, over here is the Camp Chargin. They're nomads. They got a little camp over here. They're a faction. They can and will get pissed off with you if you piss them off, and then they'll be killed on sight. This island next to them, well, for one, this takes you to the Shimmering Citadel, and this is where you'll find the Naga. I mentioned before that Naga and Naiads are not the same thing. Here is a Naga. Behold, a Naga. Give you a little lore about them. Once again, Djinn Master is an asshole, but so were they. I don't remember the ins and outs of the stories, but the general gist of it was the Djinn Master was like roaming around somewhere in Norath. I don't know where. I don't think they ever said. Let's just assume that it was out here. He was out here and he was all like, doo-doo-doo, hey, look, there's some hot chick over there. Whoa, she's even hotter than I thought. I must have her. So he took her up and wooed her and basically made her a concubine up in his little Shimmering Citadel, which is a heaven on earth, except it's all illusion. So yeah, it's a lie. But anyway, he around her he was just so kind and charming and wonderful. And then one day something happened. Now I know that there are two different sources of lore on this, and I can't remember which one is more official. So I'll just give you both of them. One of them is that these lovely ladies, who were at the time also his concubines, were jealous at all the attention she was getting, and so they conspired to kill her, except one of them saw an opportunity to come out ahead of her sisters and went and tattled. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. He was not too happy, to say the least, and he cursed them so that their outer bodies would reflect their inner viperous nature. Here they are. This is the result, and now they plot revenge. The other one says that again, they were jealous, and to get rid of her, rather than plotting to kill her, they basically just manipulated events so that she could see him for what he really was, and she fled in horror. And again, he found out about it and was pissed off and banished them. Behold, the Naga, with their flame fiends hanging out with them for fun. Hey, why not? Maybe that's a pillar of flame. I don't know. Personally, I believe it's the rocks. Just makes sense to me. But yeah, so a little lore about them. You should be getting from this the impression that the Djinn Master is kind of an asshole. So, well, yeah, you're right. Speaking of harpies, they're not very friendly to outsiders. Oh, also, right in this area, remember this is Camp de Sass entrance, and this is the non-Camp de Sass entrance. I pointed it out in the Sinking Sands vid. Right over in here, you're going to find a lot of goblins. I think I mentioned them in the Sinking Sands vid, but yeah, that's where they are. They're over at that rock wall and that way. Goblins and the harpies are at constant war with the monks. The monks, however, are like, you know what, we should probably stop fighting. And so if you go over here, usually, oh, here we go. They're starting to pop in. There she is, the Scorn Feather Ambassador person. She is a ×2 raid mob, nothing too exciting. But her eyes don't remind me of a harpy. They actually remind me more of Medusa from Clash of the Titans. Check out those eyes. It's like, are you going to turn me to stone? No, nope, she didn't appear to turn me to stone, but yeah, she's a raid mob. They are trying to work out some peace. She's not really friendly. Does she talk? I think she talks. Do not speak to me. And so I'm going to immediately piss her off and say, very well, goodbye. Ha, 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 ha. I do what I want. Yeah, so let's go check out these guys. Alright. Closed fist. The Ashen Disciples. I think it's the Ashen Disciples and the Ashen Monks. Can't remember. But yeah, you can do quests for them and build your faction with them and stuff, and it's really cool. It's not a whole lot to that. There's a little cypress tree, there's a meditation mat, all sorts of cool stuff. If you go to the Shimmering Citadel, they'll send you to collect stuff because the Djinn Master, all he can create are illusions, so he likes to have physical objects for his collection. And they'll send you in here to find stuff like the mat of a devout monk, the Ashen Order, that's right. Ashen Order and the Ashen Disciples. The Order is the open palm, the Disciples are the closed fist. But one of them will be like the meditation mat of a devout monk, the drop of pure spring water, all that weird stuff. The perfect whisper from a saber-toothed tiger or some bullshit like that. And then eventually their duplicitous nature is made clear to you, and you get to start beating the crap out of them. And then you can raid the Poet's Palace, which is the Djinn Master's raid zone. And it culminates in a raid against the Djinn Master himself. I don't remember it. I did it once. We successfully completed it. I just remember there was a gimmick to it that was kind of annoying. I don't remember what it was, though. So it couldn't have been that bad. Or maybe it was so bad it burned itself out of my mind forever. Who knows? Yeah, here we go, Sandcrawler Goblins. Camp Garnick. I am a little bit out of their league, so they wisely do the whoa. Forgot about that thing. Yeah, that's right. Knocks you down, dizzies your ass. What was I saying? Oh yeah, they do the smart thing and don't fuck with me. So yeah. Anyways, how's everyone's week been? Mine's been fun. It's been a week of self-righteous irritation. As I said, Windows has just been an asshole. It has not been a smooth upgrade at all. I am still contemplating reverting back to Windows 7 because honestly, I have never had this much trouble with an operating system, and that is including DOS 6.0, for those of you who remember that nightmare. This thing has just... My most recent issue is that it does its own thing without asking. That's something I don't like. I may have a hard drive that is starting to fail. May. I don't know. Now, I did scan them all thoroughly before I did the update, and they all came back clean, not even a single misindexed file. But as soon as I completed the update, I started having messages popping up on my screen every now and then saying, "We have detected a potential error that needs to be checked immediately. Run a scan." Well, okay, it does its automatic scan and stuff, and no issues detected, no action necessary. Okay, so you detected an issue, but you didn't detect any issues. Screw you, Windows. But what's worse is if I manually scan it, my system hangs. Completely. Like, completely hangs. And it's like, okay, there's something going on somewhere. So I finally ran a manufacturer scan, and it did come up with a fail on this drive. All the quick tests were 100% no errors, everything's great. But as soon as I did one of the long tests, it was like, boom, failed. Disabled the drive. Cool, no more problems that day. The very next day, when I booted Windows up, it re-enabled my drive without asking me. However, I was able to successfully transfer all the files off that drive, and it was probably like 60 gigs or so. I just use it as storage. So I was just pulling all that crap from that drive to another drive so I could disable it again and uninstall it. No problems moving any of those files. So it's like, for a drive that's like critically failing, it seems to be easily accessible. So I don't know what's going on there. But once again, it started doing the I'm not going to shut down, I'm going to boot up to a black screen, all sorts of weird stuff. I said, okay, none of this is really making sense because it's all pointing to different places. And I've done all sorts of tricks and troubleshooting as suggested from Microsoft, and none of it has helped, so hooray. But enough of that. Oh, this little path right here takes you out to the sinking sands. It's right over here. See this little path there? Yeah, you can just barely see it. Yeah, that takes you to sinking sands over where a Nasty Soul's avatar spawns. Oh, do not neglect the oceans. There are things in the oceans. Sharks and stuff, but there's like a big golem somewhere. Where is he at? It's over here. The Rock of Eldonis. Yeah, there he is. Peacock line of quests, and by Peacock they're referring to the Peacock Club. I mentioned them. Unfortunately, I didn't actually talk about them like I said I would, so let's do that really quick. Brief overview. It's been years. You're going to be hearing that a lot because this is old content, but basically it's a club of, like, think of them like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, I guess, kind of like that. That's the impression I got from them anyways. They don't buy into the official history of Majdoul, which paints the Saracen as some great hero, and Mujdeef as like some crusader of righteousness and stuff. They want to know the truth. There are things that just don't add up. Things out in the desert that, well, they're pretty significant things, like, for example, an entire civilization that's buried under the sands that people just kind of gloss over. And it's like, there's an entire civilization under the sand, so we don't think you're telling us the whole story. And they want you to go find that stuff out. However, the Sultan also wants you to go find that stuff out because he's hoping that he can use whatever it is that's down there as a power balancing tool. Well, not really balancing. Generally, when people want to balance power, what they really mean is they want to come out on top. And he is no exception. That's part of that whole quest line, though, with the courtiers allying with the orcs and all that. So you're basically working both sides of it. Ostensibly, you're working for the Sultan's people, but in reality, you're not stupid, and you know that there are bad things that will happen if you give some of the stuff you find to the Sultan, dude, Saracen, whatever. Yeah. I can't remember what happens to them. I can't remember if they all escape just before the Sultan's been found them, because their little club is kind of like a little, what's the password type deal. I do know that you eventually come back, the place is completely ransacked, and everyone's gone. I think there was a note left behind that told you where to go next. I remember that much. I just don't remember if they were all captured, killed, or if they escaped. But whatever, that's what it is. You're going to be going down into the living tombs, the silent city, and then you're going to be uncovering the horrors that, well, the mystery of the God King is what you'll be investigating, and at the end of it you will find out that the stories do not do him justice. Again, it directly ties into the overlying plot of this game, which ties into the Void, but yeah. Hey, is that a quest over there? It might be a quest over there, or it might just be a graphical artifact. I don't know. I do know that Windows does not like my video card. It's no longer supported. It is an older video card, but it's a trooper, and I do not want to get rid of it. but maybe one day I will. But yeah, that's the Pillars of Flame. So let's just briefly recap here. Okay, down here you're gonna. Oh yeah, Cyclopses. There are Cyclopses down in this area, and then you've got harpies galore. You've got the naga. You've got the regular. It's like a nomadic camp, I guess. Well, I guess it's not a nomadic camp since it's static, but you know, you just want two camps. Camp. Then you got the monastery area with the Ashen Order and Disciples. Down here's where you're going to find the giants. Over here you've got well, goblins. Then down in this area you're going to be running into the saber-tooths. Raptors are more down in here. The Djinn are down over here. Baraka and Siamak. There's Baraka. Epic times 4 is 65. And then Siamak's in there too, but you can't see them because they're... There we go. Baraka, Siamak. This is their little island. Oh, the Fabled Dungeon Portal. That little mirror made out of water that was on the island. Yeah, that's what that was. It takes you to the fabled version of the Shimmering Citadel, which is normally found here. And one of these days we're going to go over there and check it out. But for the meantime, peace out, everybody. It's good to be back. Sorry it took so long, but don't blame me. Blame Microsoft because they suck. Yeah. So, peace out. And next time, who knows what we'll talk about, but look forward to it. Laters.